Now I'm going to interview Mr. Anoop Sharma, who works at Picanol, which produces textile machinery. Hello, sir. Now I would like to begin with the questions. Sir, could you please elaborate what are the Picanol specialities?
Hello, Sarthak. Want to wish you a very happy New Year first.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, I work for a Belgian company that is called Picanol, and we are into manufacture of weaving machines. We basically produce machines that produce fabric. So this fabric can be cotton, and this fabric can be synthetic also. We produce weaving machines mainly on two concepts. It is airjet and rakier technology. And our annual production of machines is around 8,000 machines a year. And for us, India and China are the major markets. So that's basically my company's profile.
Sir, what are the raw materials that are used in production of these machines, as well as the fabrics that are produced using them?
All right. For a weaving machine, basically the raw material is yarn. It can be cotton, which is a natural fiber, and it can be synthetic also, which is a man-made fiber. All right. So the raw material is basically yarn. I think you want to know more about the raw material of the production of synthetic yarn, right? So these fibers are produced not in our company basically, they're produced elsewhere. We buy them from them. And these fibers are made out of polymers. So if you want to classify a synthetic yarn, it can be classified as under. The classification can be regenerated yarn. Classification can be based on yarn based on polyamides and polyester. All right. The regenerated yarns are produced out of cellulose. Here the raw material is a natural thing, but it is regenerated chemically and the yarn is produced. But for polyamide and polyester, the raw materials are chemicals themselves, that is amide and ester.
Yes, sir. Sir, also when synthetic fibers are produced, a lot of waste material is produced. So, sir, how is that waste material disposed of as it is of an environmental concern?
In the production of synthetic fibers, the waste can be of two types. One is the like for the production of polyamides, for nylon production. All right. So the nylon itself as a waste, and then there can be waste in the form of hazardous gases also. The nylon waste can be molten again and can be reused.
Reused as nylon itself?
As nylon itself, it is molten, and then again fibers can be made out of that. It will be a second grade fiber. It will not be a fresh fiber, but it goes as a second grade fiber and for second grade fabric. Yes, some hazardous gases are produced which are harmful to environment. These gases can be nitrous oxide gases, which are greenhouse gases. So this is hazardous to environment, and these nitrous oxide gases, this can be 300 times more dangerous than carbon dioxide gas, which is again a greenhouse gas. So yes, production of this is hazardous in terms of production of harmful gases.
Sir, could you please elaborate on the companies from which you buy the yarns, as they act as a source of raw materials?
We buy yarns from companies like Reliance, who have big extrusion plants, and they produce synthetic fibers. Reliance is the biggest synthetic fiber producer in India.
Sir, also what is the type of machinery used in production of synthetic fibers, from starting to the ending to the manufacturing?
Well, to give you an overview, it is produced in extrusion plants. We call the process polymerization to make the polymers, and then the polymers are molten in a plate-like structure. It has fine holes in it. We call it spinneret. So the molten polymer is pressed against this spinneret at a certain pressure. All right, and the fibers come out of those tiny holes, and then they are subjected to a certain environment at a certain pressure and temperature. They basically cool down, and they are stretched so that the polymers are realigned to give strength to the yarn. So the whole process is done in extrusion plant.
And sir, what are the environmental concerns that are connected to production of machinery, synthetic fibers, etc., sir?
Environmental concerns, as I said, yes, the gases which are produced, the poisonous gases which are produced. The biggest problem is these man-made fibers are not biodegradable. That's the biggest hazard. So judicial use of this is of utmost importance. If you burn them, they produce poisonous gases, yeah, which is harmful to environment. If you bury them, then they don't biodegrade. They don't degrade. In fact, it can take thousands of years to them to degrade. If you dispose the smoke in the sea, then it is harmful for the aquatic plants and animals. They eat it and die. Each year, thousands of animals die because of this. So yes, they are environmental hazard, but the problem is we cannot do away with them because natural fibers, they are not produced in abundance like cotton textiles. Yes, cotton textiles is very famous in India. But in Europe, they go more for synthetics because India is a tropical country, so we prefer cotton textiles. But in European countries, they prefer wearing synthetics. All right. So judicial use of this synthetic yarn and fabric is of utmost importance. You cannot do away with them. You just cannot say no to synthetic fibers. You cannot say. But yes, people have to be educated on how to use them and reuse them. All right? That's important.
Sir, so basically you are saying that synthetic fibers can completely replace natural fibers as the...
It cannot completely replaced. I would not say. Cotton and natural fibers have their own pluses and also minuses. Right? The plus is that they are natural. They occur in nature. All right? And we get them from the field. They are biodegradable. If we dispose them of, after some months or years, they vanish. So they mix with soil or anything. All right? That's the plus point. They are comfortable to wear. They are skin friendly. They don't produce itching. In a tropical country like India, cotton is very famous because in summers we sweat a lot and they absorb moisture. Synthetic fibers don't. All right? So these are the plus points of natural fibers. They have minus also. Minus is that they need to be grown in the fields, right? And we need to spray insecticides on the crop. So this is pollution to the soil.
So also, does it involve more capital investment than synthetic fibers?
No. Synthetic fibers to produce involves more capital investment, I would say. Because they are chemically produced in the labs and then they need huge plants like intrusion plant, I said, to produce them. All right. But in many cases, you cannot say it can replace a natural fiber, but yes, it is a substitute. Like if you take the case of acrylic. Acrylic is a substitute of wool. The quilts you use these days at home are very lightweight. They use fibers like acrylic. It gives the feeling of wool. It has the same warmth. You can't have so much of wool because world population is growing, right? So you can't have so much of wool. So you have to have these alternates. It will not 100% replace it. The natural fibers has its own benefits. But yes, we need these synthetic fibers also to cope with our demand.
So now we heard from Mr. Anoop Sharma about the pros and cons of synthetic as well as natural fibers. So I think with this interview, people can be enlightened about the production, development and the harms of synthetic fibers. This is Sarthak saying thank you.